Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Class 8th, how are you all? Today let's quickly revise what we had done in the last turn, that is the physical change. What is the physical change? A change in which only the physical properties of a substance change and no new substance is formed, right? So what happens in this? There is no change in the chemical composition of a substance. And I had shown you the example of ice, and I had shown you the example of ice kept in the freezer. What happens? The water, when it is kept in the refrigerator, that in the freezer part, what happens? It changes into ice. I had shown this to you. Then what happens is that when we keep it outside or we heat it, this ice changes into liquid water. So this process of changing of liquid water into ice and back melting of ice back to the liquid water, it is an example of a physical change, right? How can we prove this? Because there is no change in the chemical composition of ice and water. They are the same. There are so many examples around us which we can see. There is only change in the change in physical properties like the size, shape and state, as you can see in this example. Then the third point was there is no change in chemical composition and chemical properties of the substance takes place. This example I had shown you of which is given in your books, that is figure 2.7. This figure you can see, in which we had taken sulfur in a test tube and it melts, right? It has melted and formed a liquid on heating, which is pale yellow in color, and this liquid again changes back into the same yellow solid when it is cooled. So this is also an example of a physical change where there is no change in the chemical composition and chemical properties of the substance remain the same. Another example I had given you of was that the change is temporary and generally reversible change, as it is proved in this also. And when you can see an electric bulb, what happens when we switch on the light, switch it on, then it gives light and it even becomes hot. And when it is switched off, then what happens? The filament returns to its normal condition and does not produce any light. So this is again a temporary and reversible change. So you can see in all these examples that there is no overall change in energy which takes place. Next, I had discussed about the chemical change. That is a change in with the chemical composition and properties of a substance change, and there is formation of one or more new substances. So I had shown you the example of iron and sulfur reacting together to form iron sulfide. So I had shown you this example where iron and sulfur are reacting together. You can see this is which color? Grayish color, and this is a yellow colored solid, and they react together to form sulfide. You can see the color and state both have changed. Then there is change in chemical composition and properties which occur in a chemical change. So I had given you the example of rusting, where the iron objects, when exposed to moist air, they reddish brown coating is formed on the outer layer of the objects, and this is called as rust, and this is a change which is permanent. Then I had given you the example of burning of paper to prove that this is a permanent change. Chemical change is permanent and generally irreversible change. So when wood or iron are, you can see that when wood or paper are burnt, that means burning process takes place in the presence of oxygen. That is why oxygen is given, because oxygen is the supporter of combustion. Without it, burning process will not be possible. So what are the byproducts? That is the carbon dioxide. These are the products: carbon dioxide, water vapor, and heat is also generated. So this proves that this change is irreversible. That is, we cannot combine these carbon dioxide, water vapor together to form the same wood or paper again. Is that clear? Then change in energy takes place. This was the fourth point, that is when we burn wood in air, what happens? A large amount of heat and light energy is produced along with carbon dioxide and water vapor. So we can see that there is a change in energy during a chemical change. Is it clear? So we'll proceed further today. We have the activity on page number 20 in your books. Please follow it. We take some magnesium in a crucible. What is a crucible? It is a bowl, small bowl in which there are varied sizes. And it has a lid, and what do? We place a little magnesium over it, and then we start heating it. Now I will show this to you. So we have taken a small piece of magnesium ribbon, and it is cleaned with a sandpaper. Right, you can see the sandpaper, and this is now directly burned in a candle. Instead of taking it in a crucible, we have burned in a candle. You can see it is burning, and a white dazzling light is produced, and it is dropped. All the powder that is being formed is being dropped in a watch glass instead of the crucible. Is it clear? Now what does this prove? That burning of a magnesium ribbon forms a new substance, that is a powdery ash, which is called as magnesium oxide. This proves that this is a chemical change. So here, instead of the crucible, we had directly heated the magnesium ribbon in a candle flame, and we just wanted to observe that this is a chemical change. And you have seen that there is no magnesium ribbon now, only the ash of magnesium oxide can be seen in the watch glass, right? That is, magnesium and oxygen are combining together to form magnesium oxide, that is MgO. So we can even prove that the chemical composition and properties of magnesium oxide is different from that of magnesium and oxygen. You have seen magnesium in what form? In the form of that ribbon, right? It has burned and formed an ash, and this cannot be brought back into the same form once again. So this is a chemical change. So we can even say that during a physical or chemical change, there is no change in mass of the substance, and this is because of the law of conservation of mass. So we have one more experiment when we were discussing the second point, that is to show that the chemical composition and properties of a substance change and one or more new substances are formed during a chemical change. We have taken an experiment in which copper sulfate and iron nails are taken, and now we can observe this experiment. You can see in this that a reaction between the iron nails with copper sulfate solution. We have taken and tied the iron nail and kept it in a solution of copper sulfate, which is blue in color. Copper sulfate, hydrated copper sulfate, is blue in color, and the iron nail is hung in it for some time, and it is left. So again, you can see what are the required items, that is the iron nails, then sandpaper to clean the iron nails, then the test tubes and copper sulfate solution, which is blue in color, and a thread to hang, which is not given in your books, and a test tube stand to keep the test tube, right? A and B. So what can you see? That we keep we pour copper sulfate in one, and in the other, what do? We are using copper sulfate in both, and in one we are hanging the iron nail, right, and other is kept as such. The iron nail is cleaned with sandpaper. So in case if there are any other impurities of any other metal, then the reaction will be disturbed. This is being hung with the help of a thread inside the test tube, which is containing the copper sulfate solution. After 20 minutes, what is seen? That there is deposition of a layer, that is a reddish brown layer on the iron nail, and the color of the solution also has changed from blue to light green. You will see just now. So this deposition that you can see on the iron nail is what? This is iron sulfate. Is that clear? So what I beg your pardon, that is copper, deposition of copper, which is reddish brown deposit, and the light green color, pale green color is of iron sulfate. Is it clear? So you can see this reaction, that is between the iron, copper sulfate, which are resulting in the formation of iron sulfate and copper. Is that clear? And so these are some other examples of chemical changes, that is photosynthesis and respiration. What is photosynthesis? How can you prove that it is a chemical change? That is, it is using what? It is using carbon dioxide and water, and what is being released? Oxygen and sugar are being released, right? So you can see this. It's a chemical change which is irreversible and permanent. Similarly, in respiration, what is happening? The oxygen is recombining with glucose and it is releasing the carbon dioxide and energy. So both these changes, or both these reactions, are irreversible changes. Then other examples we have are preparation of soaps and detergents, burning of paper, formation of curd, rotting of eggs. These are other examples of chemical changes. Cooking of food, burning of fuels, right? Now we have the chart which will tell you the differences between the physical and chemical changes. But before that, we will study that when a chemical change takes place, what happens? There is change in the color of substance, as I had shown you the reaction between iron and sulfur. Then there is evolution of gas, for instance the reaction of photosynthesis and respiration, and there are many other chemical reactions which are there. And then formation of precipitate, that is an insoluble solid residue, then change in state of substance and release or absorption of energy, which you had seen in the case of a bulb, which was a physical change. But in the chemical change, there is release of energy when you mix a little water to lime tuna that is used during what do you see? There is evolution of heat, or which can be in the form of light and sound as well. So this we will learn in detail in later chapters, right? But right now we have like what is the difference between physical and chemical changes. So first point is formation of new substances. In physical chain there is formation of no new substance, right? But in a chemical chain we have seen that one or new substances are formed. Then in the case of a physical change, it is a temporary change, while a chemical change is a permanent change, right? So this is the second point. Then reversibility, it is generally reversible, that it can be reversed back. For instance, the reaction or the process of melting and freezing, you have seen they are reversible. Then this reaction is generally, chemical changes are generally irreversible. All the reactions that we have studied, whether it was between copper sulfate or iron nails, or the reaction between magnesium and oxygen, all were irreversible. Then only the physical properties of the substance change in the physical chain. For instance, when we had talked about water changing into ice, only the liquid change into solid, or solid change into ice. Or in the case of when iron and when you had seen the sulfur was heated, the solid change into liquid, and liquid back change back into solid again. But in chemical changes, both physical and chemical properties of the substance change, right? That you had seen that in case of magnesium, when magnesium was burnt, then it changed into ash, that is the solid was changed into the powdery form. Is that clear? This reaction is irreversible. Then what is the energy change that takes place in the form of heat and light? Generally no overall change in energy that you can observe. Then in the case of chemical change, there is overall energy change that takes place. Energy has either to be absorbed or it is released, right? It is released, for instance, when we are heating something and then the reaction is taking place, that is, there has been an absorption of heat. And when we are mixing water to lime, then there is evolution of heat. So these are chemical changes. Is it clear? Then there are certain reactions in which there is simultaneous physical and chemical change, which you can see in the case of a candle. What happens in a candle? It is an example of simultaneous physical and chemical change, that is, both are happening side by side. So what happens when we light a candle? We can see that the wax of which the candle is made, it melts and it changes into liquid. And then again, when we blow this candle off, this wax solidifies again and it changes into the solid. So we can say, or we can prove, that this melting of candle wax is a physical change, right? This is a physical change. But when this liquid wax changes into wax vapor and burns to produce carbon dioxide and water vapor. Now this is burning. When the burning process is taking place, then what has happened? Liquid wax that is there, it is burning and it is a carbon compound, and when it is combining with oxygen of the air, it is forming carbon dioxide and even water vapor is being released. It also produces heat and light. Thus we can say that burning of wax is a chemical change. Is it clear? Now next is the exercise for revision, that is on page number 21. Let's discuss the exercise for revision. Tick the correct option. The change in which only the physical properties of a substance change and no new substance is formed is called as, yes, it is called as a physical change. Then turn over the page and move to page number 22. That is, which of the following is not correct about a chemical change? There is a formation of new substance. It is a permanent change. There is no change in chemical composition. It is generally irreversible. So what is not correct about a chemical change? That is, there is no change in chemical composition. There is a change in the chemical composition. Is it clear? So this is the answer. Next is the burning of candle is an example of only physical change, only chemical change, simultaneous physical and chemical change, and natural change. So it is simultaneous physical and chemical change, right? Here. Then categorize the following changes into physical and chemical changes. What is curdling of milk? It is a chemical change. Formation of vapor is a, right? When you heat water, it changes into vapor and back into the vapor, then this is a reversible change. So this is a physical change, right? Then burning of fuels. What is burning of fuels? Burning of fuels is a chemical change, right? This is a chemical change. Then rotting of eggs, again it is a chemical change. Then digestion of food, what is it? It is another chemical change. Then freezing of water, it is a physical change. It is a reversible change. Rusting of iron, an irreversible change, and a permanent change, that is, it is a chemical change. Then sublimation of camphor, right? What is it? Yes, it is a physical change, right? I told you about sublimation earlier. Drying of wet clothes is a physical change, right? Then melting of ice is another physical change. Now I've discussed this exercise. Now try completing all the exercises which I have discussed earlier. Revise the chapter so that you can do the question answers in the next session. Allah Hafiz.